Hey, good evening, everybody, and welcome to the last in the municipal year Inner East Community Committee. So, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Councillor Luke Farley. I am the chair of the committee, and the Inner East Community Committee covers my own ward of Bermontoft and Richmond Hill, Gipton and Hare Hills, Killingbeck and Seacroft, and Roundhay. And this is a really important committee where your ward councillors have an opportunity to discuss and make decisions about local services and priorities for the local area. We also consider funding applications from community projects and youth activities. I will remind my colleagues that this is live streamed across the city via the council's YouTube channel, so that the public can observe, and I believe they do. So I would remind everybody, if you're not speaking, please ensure you are muting your microphones. I would also point out I have brought in some sweeties for everybody, so please do indulge and pass them around. So I am going to invite colleagues to introduce themselves, and we'll start with the elected members, starting with Councillor Dye.
Good evening, everybody. Councillor Katie Dye, Killingbeck and Seacroft Ward.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Councillor David Jenkins from Killingbeck and Seacroft Ward.
Good evening, everybody. I am Councillor Ankila Manaka, representing Bermontoft and Richmond Hill.
Good evening, everyone. Councillor Asghar Khan, Councillor for Bermontoft and Richmond Hill Ward.
Good evening, everybody. Councillor Jordan Bowden, representing Roundhay.
Hello, everyone. Councillor Lisa Martin, also representing Roundhay Ward.
Brilliant, thank you. I'll introduce the officers. We'll start with Stuart.
Stuart Byrne, at the Communities team of the Council.
Robbie Hawley, Community team, Leeds City Council.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Natasha and I'm the clerk to this meeting.
And as you are the clerk, can you go through items 1 to 5, please?
Thanks, Chair. Agenda item 1, there's no appeals. Agenda item 2, no exempt items. Agenda item 3, no formal late items. However, members have received some supplementary information in regards to agenda item 9, the finance report. Agenda item 4, members to declare any interest. Thank you. Agenda item 5, apologies from Councillor Tudor. Back over to you, Chair.
Okie doke, thank you very much. So agenda item number 6 is the minutes of the previous meeting held on Thursday the 4th of December. Can I have somebody to move that, please? Councillor Bowden and Councillor Day, you happy to second? I'm happy to second. Wonderful. I will accept that as agreement. Thank you very much. That is a very good point. You weren't there. Councillor Martin, are you happy to? You weren't there either. Councillor Jenkins. Right, so Councillor Jenkins has proposed the minutes. Councillor Dye has seconded. Can we all just see your hands, please, in agreement? Thank you very much. The next item on the agenda is item number 7, which is the open forum. So, at the discretion of myself, a period of up to 10 minutes may be allocated at each ordinary meeting for members of the public to make representations or to ask members questions on matters within terms of reference of the community committee. No member of the public shall speak for more than 3 minutes in the open forum, except by permission of the chair. I can see there is one member of the public here today. Janine, do you want to say anything?
Hi, yeah, I'm Janine from East Side Story. And I just wanted to say something quickly in regards to an application that I made. The plan is for East Side Story to do 3 sets of journalism workshops across Inner East Leeds. That includes Hare Hills and Gipton, it includes Bermontoft and Richmond Hill, Killingbeck and Seacroft, although that element, that ward, we've put onto a separate application at the request of the councillors. So the original application included all 3 wards in one budget, but because I've been later advised to submit a separate application, the main application now only covers Hare Hills and Gipton, as well as Bermontoft and Richmond Hill. So these workshops are for young, neat people in the community. They'll continue over a period of 6 weeks, and this is the application that we'd put forward.
Okay. Does anybody have any comments or questions?
Just on the rare for Bermondsey.
Sorry, can I just clarify on the separate application? I believe that was for Bermondsey and Richmond Hill, not Killinbeck and Seacroft. Was that the RAF application? Just to clarify.
Yeah, I beg your pardon. Yeah, Bermondsey and Richmond Hill.
Okay, great. That's fine. Thank you very much. Agenda item number 8 is Leeds 400, which is the 400th year of Leeds having city status. So I will hand over to yourself, Jane. Do you want to just introduce yourself?
Thank you, Chair. I'm Jane Wallen. I'm Chief Officer for Active Leeds Operations and Culture in City Development and leading the team on Leeds 400, which is a cross-council working group across all services that have an involvement. I'm going to share my screen if that's okay. And then start slideshow. Just bear with me. There we go. And why are we celebrating, and why are we trying to bring people together to mark this year? So in July on July the 13th, 2026, we will commemorate 400 years of Leeds being a royal chartered city, which we received from King Charles I. This marked a really historic moment for the city. We were able to self-govern and make decisions independently. And it's safe to say 400 years on, we've come a long way in that time. We were noted just not long before 1626 that we were a small borough next to Rothwell. We've created our own identity and moved on a long way. So this is a year-long celebration. We're inviting residents, communities, organisations to share and be part of what the city is and what they want to celebrate with us. The first charter, you can see a small picture of it on the display there, was recently discovered in a bookshop in Cambridge. It was about to be used to decorate a lampshade. Fortunately, somebody realised it was important and we managed to recover it, and we've reacquired it for the city. It's now on display in West Yorkshire Archives. It's a free venue. You can go and look at everything in the archives. And at the same time, we manufactured a mace, which you can see above, which is still in the civic cabinets just on this floor. It cost 11 shillings, which is about £60 today. But it still comes out at ceremonies for the Lord Mayor. So as part of Leeds 400, we've developed the branding with using the owl from Sir John Saville's crest and the stars from Sir Thomas Danby's. And we're using this as our branding for communities, and you will see this starting to pop up around the city. We have 400 themes identified. So we are a city of culture, heritage, sport, innovation, learning, communities, and the future. And we have both internal and external partners who lead on these individual work streams, from the university, Civic Trust, West Yorkshire Archives, Leeds Sport Foundation, etc. And they've been helping develop the themes and the activities and stories that we're starting to bring together as part of this year. We have a toolkit, and we can share all the connections with you, and we really ask that you share that with your organisations and your people that you know better than we do. And they can come to us via these links and via the campaign page, which is live on the council's website. And there's a toolkit there that people can access with frequently asked questions. So it's been a lot of work going on in terms of comms. So the newsroom at the City Council, it's live to post. You can post news release and stories, which we've been doing regularly with partners. We've got email strap lines that we've been using, and our ongoing use of the advertising space that we have across the city that is contracted to us, so the Armley billboard and other places, and regular updates in Ed's messages, etc. And we've just launched, Councillor Reef, and through the press team, we've just launched What's Your 400? So what are your 400 activities for this year? So that is live on the website, and we've had an awful lot of responses to that. People really being able to identify 400 things or activities or events that they can get involved in. So we're just starting to collate those, and we can continue to share those with community committees. But we've got the likes of the Scouts involved, Leeds Netball, a myriad of other organisations doing 400 different things, Active Leeds doing 400 races, schools doing 400 different events. So through the culture work stream, we have the Leeds Inspired link. If you have an event that you want to publicise, that you want to have included as part of Leeds 400, if you log in to the Leeds Inspired webpage, it's part of the campaign page, so it's a direct link for you. You don't have to click twice. But the red button that you can see there above the pink banner, it says post your event, and it takes you to the Leeds 400 page. You can put it on there, tag it, and we can pick it up and share it and connect you with other organisations that are looking to do similar events. But there's also a myriad of other different activities already happening across the city. Large events that we've got planned that we do every year through Carnival, Black Music Festival, Light Night, etc. But there are also things like summer series that we're connecting this in. Music Leads Us has been a real big part of developing some of the stories that we have for our music history with the Conservatoire, who were 60 years old last year. Through Child Friendly Leeds, we have the Leeds for Learning page, which has got lots of additions from the archive service for schools, teachers, teaching assistants to use to start to familiarise children and teachers with Leeds history over the last 400 years. We have an online launch ready for time capsules, which are going to be buried across the city. So we have a time capsule resource pack for people, so where they can buy a time capsule and where they're at different places, they can actually locate one, so that we have a register of where they all are in 200, 300 years. Who knows when we decide to dig them back up. And there's also a newsletter that's going out to all schools as well, just to keep them updated. And we have a Child Friendly Leeds Ambassador event in April, which has got a real lean on Leeds 400 and Wish 7, which is about arts and culture and sport. The sport theme, we've got lots of relays going on in August to celebrate Leeds 400. And children and young people are looking at designing a challenge that people are going to be taking part in, a walking challenge in May in conjunction with Yorkshire Cancer Research. Sport Leeds partnerships and heritage opportunities. We're just looking at some of the history of some of our city's athletes and coaches and people that have really excelled and put Leeds on the map from a sporting point of view. We're also working with Parkrun, who, for those of you that don't know, they're based in Leeds. Their office is on, I think it's on St Paul Street. So, it's a good claim to fame for the city that we have the home of Parkrun with us. And we have the Ambassadors Health Charity Walk, which is a service that Active Leeds run, which is very much focused on men's health. And we're linking that into an event on the 7th of May. And then the communities team, and in part, this is why we're here, because you know your communities better than we do. And we wanted to come to all community committees to say, who do you know, who would like to get involved, how can we help support you, and how can you help support your organisations through us to be able to get their input into something that's really important. So that in part, this is the last community committee we've been to all but you up to now. So that seems to work really well, and we've got some really good stories and some really good input as a result of that. I just wanted to highlight some particular things that we're going to be doing. In fact, I had a meeting with the Civic Trust today around what is Leeds Cossins map. For those of you that don't know, it was a map made in 1726, and you can see a picture of it here. It's from St John's Church in the north down to Leeds Bridge in the south, and you can see how much Leeds has changed with the central spine of that map being Briggate, which was surrounded by fields and trees and other things. We're looking to reproduce this and put a permanent art installation outside First White Cloth Hall in partnership with Rushbond and the Civic Trust, just to replay this. And we're looking at creating a trail around the core of the Cossins map for the buildings that are on this map still, which is St John's Church. There's not many, Trinity and one or two others, but actually to put locations around buildings where they've disappeared, and most of the buildings on the outside of the frame that you can see there no longer exist, or they've been repurposed into something else. But we wanted a permanent legacy of something in and around the historical core of the city, around the Corn Exchange, around Briggate, which is where most of the trading happened at that time. For those of you, and Councillor Jenkins has waved one around, we've been working with Leeds Older People's Forum, partnering through museums and galleries to produce volume 1 of People's History of Leeds. It's really interesting, and it's worth you can pick these up through the Older People's Forum, but it's really important, really interesting stories, kind of one-page stories about people who've either come from Leeds and done something quite inspirational, or just really helped in their local community and made a difference. There are 2 more volumes of this to come. The next volume will be released on the 13th of July, which seems appropriate. So we seem to have timed this well in relation to Leeds 400. I just wanted to point out we are having a civic ceremony on the 12th of July at the Minster. So we're working on a multicultural faith event. We don't quite have all the details finalised yet, but we will share that with all community committees, and bringing people together to talk about the history of Leeds and celebrate the moment. But following on from that, Thor's Bar, who will be in City Square over that time, will be providing food and drink in the space, and are inviting people to come along and have a picnic in City Square if the weather's good, sharing the moment and just bring people together. We've also themed Light Night around Leeds 400, so we're just working on the curation of the lights and installations for that. And for those of you that will have seen very recently, Leeds Bid, the core event in the middle of Leeds 400 over summer, is around Trivial Pursuit, which is going to be across a number of our venues in the city, a number of museums, galleries, etc. Really, really exciting, and it will talk and lean into a lot of the history of the city and a lot of our famous people that have grown up here. And you can just contact us. I'm just leaving that up there so you can see. You can email us on leeds400@leeds.gov.uk and go on to Leeds Inspired, and we will be happy to pick up anything that you want to share with us. And I will stop sharing and hand over to questions from any of you.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any questions? Councillor Khan, then Councillor Arif.
Chair, I'm going to take off my Gibson Hare Hills councillor hat on and put on my cabinet hat on. I just want to say thank you to Jane for coming to the community committee today. This is an important year for us, and I'm really pleased that you're here and talking to community committees. As you said earlier, we know our communities best. I think what's important for me, it's recognising everybody who's shaped this city. My granddad first came in 1939, first settled in London, and then actually not far from here, Blackman Lane. In 1950s, that's sort of where the original South Asian community started, and then obviously moved into Hare Hill. And I think they'll be good to just talk about their struggles and what they did to shape the communities. And I think we need to find ways to perhaps even go into our local religious communities, go to mosques, go into churches and see if there's any stories we can find there. I suppose my question is, I don't know how every community committee is doing it, but if we as a community committee ring fence some money for Leeds 400 and almost invite applications for community events to happen to celebrate in ways that the community sees fit. Just floating that idea to members in terms of financial funding, because unfortunately this does come with officer resource, but it doesn't come with financial money from the council, and that's because of the financial and budget constraints that we've got. But there's a toolkit and there's loads of stuff happening, and it's a case of how do we piggyback on some of the really good things that are happening and celebrate a really important year for us as a city. Thank you.
Okay, what I would suggest is perhaps we can take that thought and move on to the next meeting for the next municipal year. I think when we've got a clear idea of what finances are like. Councillor Khan, did you want to?
Thank you, Chair, and can I say thank you, Jane, for the excellent report on Leeds 400, and I think it's a great opportunity for all of us to celebrate the success of Leeds, and we should be proud of our city, our wonderful city as well. My question is, you talked about the third sector organisation you're working with. There's one organisation, the Leeds Older People's Forum, but there are other third sector organisations across Leeds, and also young people as well. We've got youth services, and then we've got other avenues where we can explore and promote this through our libraries across Leeds. My question is, what work is taking place there? Can you explore a little bit? Just on the funding wise, it's a great initiative, but there's no funding. Is there any way we can explore around VICA to get some more funding for this as well, please?
Happy to come back on that, Councillor Khan. I think firstly we are working with a number of internal services. So we have the working groups made up of Leeds Libraries, for instance, Child Friendly Leeds, Active Leeds, museums and galleries, the events team. So we've done a cross-council working group, the communities team. So we're getting that kind of from a council perspective, we're getting that wide base and that wide engagement, which is really positive. We have leaned into some of the third sector, so voluntary action leads. We've had conversations with culture consortium leads who have a really big role to play, I think, in helping us engage, because culture is their bread and butter. This is very much about them. So we're linking in through the third sector through them and through other partners as well. So we can give you more details on that. I can share that directly with you if you'd like. Just picking up on the funding point. So I'll tell myself off, I forgot to mention, we do have the council's grant programme, the Leeds Cultural and Investment Programme, which will reopen in April. And the way that we've put the brief together for those projects is, align your bids towards a Leeds 400 theme and an ambition. So when that grant programme goes live, organisations will be able to tell us how their event aligns, and we will review applications on that basis. We're also working with WICA on what they've got as this financial year, a programme of grant funding, which is called Seasons of Culture, which is now Seasons of Nature. So anything that comes forward as part of that, it's about 300k from WICA. It's not a lot, but it's better than nothing, and we can use it to match fund actually anything that you consider as an opportunity. But the Seasons of Nature, we've literally just gone live with that. So
very quickly, Councillor Khan, very quickly.
Jen, the ward I represent, and with the chair and Councillor Maleka, we've got over 140 different languages spoken in that ward, and it's how do we get that message down to those communities, those organisations, and how are we going to make sure communication, how they're going to be benefiting? And normally these kind of initiatives take place in the city centre, but people outer centre, surrounding wards, they can only. I'll give you one example. It's the gravy scenario. So the gravy gets cooked in the city centre, people can taste it in the city centre, but outer skirt, people can smell, but they can't taste. With Leeds 400, can you make sure the people the ward I represent, the Walk East Leeds ward, they do have that taste of that for Leeds 400 as well.
Absolutely, Councillor Khan, it's a really important part of 2023 and our legacy, our moving into 2025 in Bradford, and the impact of that. We know what worked well and what didn't, and we need to address that through this. And I don't think we came and talked to community committees in around 2023 and really dug into how we can best serve those communities. We've engaged with Leeds 33, who were a legacy of Leeds 2023, and they've been really proactive. In fact, I saw them put out some press and comms, so they've got a representative still in each ward. So we know we're trying to get out through that neighbourhood level. But if there's anything that you want us to pick up, it's something that I'm really keen to address, because I want this to be felt everywhere. Because you're right, the city centre shouldn't get everything, and it shouldn't feel like it's an exclusive.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Dye.
Thank you. I've got 3 questions, and the first one kind of follows on from what you were saying there, Jane, about it needs to be felt everywhere, and just wondering about the best way to share that, because we can't get into everybody's inbox, can we? But what you shared with us on that PowerPoint had some really nice visuals and something that was really kind of easily accessible. So I don't know whether there is anything that will be produced that we can then share that is just really easy to get the message across about the variety of things and the fact that it's spanning, you know, a long period of time. So that's my first one. Do you want me to do all of them, or do you just want to do them one?
I might forget.
Oh, sorry, Councillor Farley's conscious of time. Right, so my second one is we have interest in Killingbeck and Seacroft, and one resident in particular would like to work with a local drama group and do a piece of work about Leeds 400. Not quite sure what it'll shape up to be. The email address that you shared with us, leeds400@leeds.gov, is that for us to be able to share with people like that who might want some support or not? And then my last question is the futures strand. Who's leading on that? Because I'm interested in whether we could use it to showcase some of the really great climate stuff we've got on. Thank you. Done.
Thank you. Just in terms of your first question, we can share all of the slides with you. That gives you the direct link into the campaign page. You can share that campaign link. It's got all the visuals on there. It lists out all the events that we've been tagged into. It's got West Yorkshire Archives catalogue on there, which is where pictures and images of some of the West Yorkshire Archives stuff is. So yeah, absolutely. Please, okay. You can share that link. The email address, yes, you can email us on that. The working group with members from libraries, sport, culture programmes, museums and galleries, we all have access to that inbox. So we all pick emails up and we all share across the working group. So yes, absolutely, please do. And your third question, which is going to...
Who's leading on the futures?
Right, sorry. So in terms of the futures, we're actually all working on that together. So all of the themes, all of the officers that are linked into Leeds 400, we're all looking at future strands. So we're trying to bring in, what does child-friendly Leeds mean in terms of futures? So there's an art competition about what Leeds will look like in 100 years' time, for instance. So there are a number of things we're just piecing together on the future, because it's probably the most complex thing to look forward as opposed to looking back. You know, the information just isn't there, but we're just starting to do that. So if you've got anything that you want to share, and if you want to share the email or the campaign page and direct people towards us, we will pick things up.
Oh, apologies for that. Yeah. Thank you.
Councillor Barton.
Yeah, just briefly. I echo Councillor Khan's plea for the Leeds 400 to benefit all communities. But from Roundhay, I just want to highlight an opportunity to promote the Leeds 400, where we'll be seeing a return of large-scale music events to Roundhay Park this year, in July this year. And just, you know, to urge you to contact the organisers of the event, AEG, to see how you can use their publicity to promote the Leeds 400. That's it.
Councillor Martin, thank you for that. Yes, we've already been in touch with AEG. We have regular conversations with them about other events and music across the city, and we've plugged in the university and ourselves with them to look at actually what's the legacy of the Roundhay Festival itself, but also how can we tie that into Leeds 400. And I think there'll be something really nice coming out of that around our music story. Just thinking back to Councillor Dye's comment about Leeds Goths and the history of Leeds music scene. So yeah, it's a really important opportunity and one that we shouldn't miss.
Good. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Councillor Martinelli?
Thank you, Chair, and thank you for that wonderful presentation. Councillor Arif's comments actually triggered a memory, which I wanted to sort of give a connection. Adam Aslam held an exhibition at the Hamara Centre about 18 months ago around the contribution of first-generation immigrants. So either myself or Councillor Arif can connect you to Adam if you want to share some of those stories. That'd be really... that might be useful.
That'd be great. I'd really appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Jenkins, very briefly.
Very briefly. Yeah, so I just wonder if you're in contact with the Leeds Community Foundation as a means of getting half and half funding, possibly. And it's interesting looking at the map of 1726, how pedestrianised it was.
I think was that pre-invention of the car, Councillor Jenkins? I don't know. Yeah, so Leeds Community Foundation are on our strategic steering group. So we were working with them and they're helping input across a number of areas around Leeds 400. So yeah, we're having regular dialogue with them.
Okay, thank you very much. So thank you, Jane. That's very informative. We're going to move on now to agenda item number 9. I'll hand over to Robbie. It's the finance item.
Thank you, Chair. So let's move on to the finance report and on to page 19. So for members to note the wellbeing revenue position. In table 1, we do have the ring fences, which I'm aware some wards may want to change those.
Thanks, Robbie. So I understand my colleagues and I in Bermontos and Richmond Hill will be taking out £2,134.57 from our tasking ring fence. I understand Killingbeck colleagues will also be abolishing their ring fence tile. Is that correct? Tasking, right? And I've got a note here. Councillor Bowden, did you want to flag something?
Me and Councillor Martin would like to ring fence £5,000 for the prevention of Yorkshire stone slab thefts. As that we're going to be in a trial, but we're happy to ring fence some money to get it's called selector DNA in place.
Could I suggest with your ring fence that you serve that for the next? Would it be for the next financial year?
Still ring fence it now and then.
Well, you can, yeah, in principle you can ring fence it now and then, but obviously once you've got the money next financial year from April, yeah, cool, fab. We'll have with that. Councillor Rafe.
I suppose just looking at both my colleagues, we've not used any of our tasking money either, because we're really short on the amount of money we've got now left. Perhaps we ought to do the same as well and bring it back into the budget, if both the elected members are minded to do the same. Yeah, perfect. We'll do the same then.
Okay, that I will take that as agreement. Fantastic. Okie doke. So, Robbie, what's next?
Thank you. So we'll move on to page 21, which is the wellbeing grant funding applications for consideration and approval. So the first application.
We're not going through the
Is this supplementary item?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, sorry. So move on to the first one, which is Bermontos and Richmond Hill Kicks, and they've asked for £12,000.
Okay, thank you. So we couldn't quite meet the full 12,000, so we have agreed. We've agreed 4,000 from our wellbeing budget, and then we have directed them to the RERF fund for an additional £2,000, which would meet half of their target, which would be 6,000. So, Councillor Manaka, you are happy with that?
Yes, Chair, I am. Thank you.
And Councillor Khan is happy as well. He's back. Councillor Khan. Councillor Khan, you're happy to approve £4,000 from our wellbeing budget for Bermontoft's Kicks? Okay.
Thank you. And the next application is Dazzle's LS9 project, also for Bermontoft and Richmond Hill, and they've requested £7,084.
Thank you, Robbie. So we agreed £1,338.54 from wellbeing, £2,161.46 from YAF, and we then directed them to the RERF fund for £1,500. Colleagues, are we happy with that? Yeah. Fabulous.
Thank you, Chair. The next application is also for Bermontoft and Richmond Hill, Leeds Youth Services Young Leaders Group, which is £5,000.
Yep, we agreed that.
Thank you. The next application is for Gipton and Hare Hills, which is £3,000 for the Banstead Park Community Day.
That's right.
Chair, it should actually read Junior Sports Hub and Nano Foundation. The application was a joint application, if I'm not mistaken.
And the lead applicant is Junior Sports Hub, that's why I put it in, but it's in with Nano as well.
It is with, yeah, that's fine. Happy to approve that, Chair.
Great. Councillor Ali, you happy with that? Fab. Councillor Borden?
Just as Councillor Ali was leaving, he asked just to say that he's in favour of this as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
You. The next application is Getaway Girls Health and Wellbeing Group, and they've asked for £6,630 from Killingbeck and Seacroft.
Councillor Dye?
Yep, and we said we were unable to find that, but we were going to fund them, and the amount we agreed was 4730.
Thank you.
Thank you. Moving on to the next application, Crossgates Over 60s, which they've asked for £3,649, also Killingbeck and Seacroft.
So Zai?
Yeah, similar situation. We're not in a position to fund it all, but we have gone for 2266 and 38 pence.
Thank you.
Lovely, thank you. So the next application is for the Roundhay Award for Chapel Allerton Community Tennis Programme. They've asked for £292.60.
Happy?
I'm happy.
Great.
Thank you. Another application for Roundhay, which is £1,000 for the Gledhow Valley Green Fair.
Yep. Not happy? Good.
Thank you. Still with Roundhay, £360 for the summer bands in the park.
All good. Happy? Good.
And then Ellis Fortune Trust for the We Are Seacroft project have asked for £31,000 from Killingbeck and Seacroft.
That's a die.
So again, we're not in a position to fund all of it. What we've agreed is that we can do 21,250. And if you look at the detail of the proposal, it's split between different organisations, and we said that 10,000 out of that would go to Seacroft Community on top. But if you look at our funding pot, it will have to come out of next year's funding pot.
Okay. That's the pre-allocation for next year.
Thank you. The next application is for St Andrew's Clock Appeal, and that's £2,000 from Roundhay.
Really, councillors are happy? Good.
Moving on to East Eye Stories application for the Community Journalism Workshop. They've asked for £3,000 and the split is contained within the report.
Okay, thank you. So Bermontoft and Richmond Hill councillors directed them to RERF for £600. Killenbeck and Seacroft, 1,500 from next year, I believe.
Yes, we're happy to agree that.
Great. And then Gipton and Hare Hills colleagues, any?
Yes, we're happy to approve as well.
Okay. What's the figure?
900.
900.
Thank you. The next application is for Bermatofts and Richmond Hill for the Lark in the Park and Bermatofts Community Festival, which is £22,497.
Thank you. So we've agreed to the 22,497 out of the 26-27 budget, nearly. But that was under the proviso that if we can find cash anywhere else from sponsors or any businesses, if you are looking to sponsor the Lark in the Park or Bermatofts Communities Festival, please speak to myself, Councillor Khan or Councillor Banaka. But we've agreed to that in principle.
Thank you, Chair. So moving on to page 26, members are asked to note the Youth Activities Fund in Table 3, projects approved, and then Youth Activity Fund applications for consideration at point 42, the first of which is the Young Women's Social Inclusion and Wellbeing Programme, who've asked for £998 from Killenbeck and Seacroft.
Colleagues?
Yes, we agreed to that.
Brilliant.
Thank you. The next application is the Chapel Elton Park Community Tennis Programmes for the children's sessions. They've asked for £577.60 from Rounday.
Are we happy? Good.
And still with Rounday, the Rounday Park Summer Tennis Camp. They've asked for £996.
Colleagues? All good? Happy?
Thank you. So moving on to the We Are Seacroft youth activities. They've asked for £19,475 from Killenbeck and Seacroft.
Colleagues?
Yep, and sadly we've had to say we're not in a position to fund all of that, and we can do 10,150.
Okay, thank you. And that's out of next year's budget, isn't it? Okay.
Thank you. So moving on to page 28, members are asked to note the SIL budget in table 4 and the community infrastructure levy applications for consideration, the first of which is a speed device from West Yorkshire Police for £3,624, and the split is contained within the report.
Okay, so that would be £1,208 per ward. Bermatofts and Richmond Hill, we were happy with that. Killenbeck and Seacroft. Yep. Gipton and Hare Hills, so we have to pay for the speed gun. Good. And Rounday, don't vote on that one. Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. So the next one is the Ings Crescent pedestrian chicane barriers, £1,000 for Bermatofts and Richmond Hill.
So we are happy to support that, but we would like to take it out of our capital budget.
Thank you, Chair. The next application is also for Bermatofts and Richmond Hill, £1,600 for the Bermatofts and Richmond Hill telecom boxes.
Yep, that's fine.
Thank you. Moving on to the next application, which is the Hills Getaway Girls satellite-based refurbishment, £5,000, Gipton and Hare Hills.
Councillor Reeve.
Yes, again, due to financial constraints, having spoken to Getaway Girls, we'll be looking to approve 2,000.
2,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. The next application for consideration is Grange Farm Bollards, £3,000, Killenbeck and Seacroft.
Colleagues?
Yep, happy to approve that.
Right. Thank you. The next application, also Killenbeck and Seacroft, which is £270 for litter picking equipment.
Yep, happy to approve that.
Good.
You. The next application is for Gipton and Hare Hills, which is for temporary CCTV cameras, and it's £8,700.
Are we all happy with that? Good.
The next one is also for Gipton and Hare Hills, which is the Hare Hills grip bins for £1,000.
Happy? Good.
Moving on to the playbox resources, £975 from Killingbeck and Seacroft.
Killingbeck. Happy.
And also for Killingbeck and Seacroft, 1,500 for a replacement boiler for Seacroft Village Hall.
Happy. Good.
Thank you. So there is also a supplementary late item, which you should all have on your desks. So contained within the late item, there is your capital budget, which is noted in table 5, with the balances for all 4 wards. And there is also supplementary a wellbeing grant funding for consideration, which is the Breeze in the Park 2026. They've asked for 15,400, and again, the split is contained within the report.
Thank you. So I'll start with my own ward, Birmingham Oxford Richmond Hill, 7,700. Are we happy with that? Out of next year's budget. Gipton and Hare Hills for 3,850.
Yep, next year's budget.
Happy. Next year's budget, yeah. And then Killingbeck and Seacroft for the same. Yes. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. So moving on to the
if that's something you'd like, speak to the Breeze team, because they are really nice events. Yeah. Yeah. Just I get in touch with them.
Thank you. I'll pick that. Thank you. So moving on to the YAF funding for consideration is the Sunday Weekly Youth Club from Junior Sports Hub, and they've asked for £8,840.
Gibson Colley, are we happy? Zarif?
Again, we've got no money in our YAF funding, so we'd like to defer this to next year's budgets when we have a top-up, please.
Yep.
But otherwise, happy to approve.
Okay, next year. And then finally.
And last but not least, is the Chapel of Rest Information Board, £900, Bermatoffs and Richmond.
Yes, fine. So we're gonna fund this out of the capital budget. Great. Okay.
Thank you, and that is the finance report complete.
So
I'll move on to
we can move on to agenda item number 10, which is the subgroup reports.
Thank you, Chair. So move on to the update report, and on page 37 there is the forward plan. So I'll invite the champions to provide an update. So if Councillor Khan is happy to go first as the environmental champion.
Yeah, thanks, Robbie, and thanks, Chair. Just to update the committee committee that we met on the 12th of March. And there were 3 priorities we want to make sure we were discussing: reducing waste and litter in local communities. That was to identify and need to promote the correct waste disposal practices, agreed to create and distribution of information flyers across the wards, and flyers will include details of the relevant prosecutions and fines. And then the other one we discussed in details was the dog fouling, and we came to a conclusion that issues raised is as ongoing on all 3 or 4 wards. CNT and West Yorkshire Police will do up joint patrols in the hotspot areas. Expect outcomes, issue fine and offenders. That will be shared as well. And finally was how do we engage with schools, faith groups on the environment issue. Previously, we engaged, a letter was sent to all the schools across our committee committee from the chair, myself and Councillor Maleka, she's the children's champion, and the locality officer to follow up school to, follow up what the need is. So Mount St Mary has requested in-person meetings, so And this is ranged for Monday, myself and Councillor Farley and Councillor Naka. And anybody wants to join, please do so. And also on the subgroup, we've got Councillor Dyer as well, Councillor Jordan, Councillor Ali. If you want to echo or do you want to say anything what I said, please feel free.
Okay.
Please feel free to echo.
Thank you, Councillor Khan. Any comments on this, Councillor Madali? Yeah.
I'm getting a lot of reports around bed bugs being in Hare Hills. Have you noticed anything else, anything similar in Bermondsey and Richmond Hill? Or has anyone else noticed anything?
I mean, that just, I mean, we haven't had anything coming to us with regards to bed bugs. It has previously been an issue with some of the older properties based on the border between the two wards. However, it hasn't. I'm trying to rack my brain through casework. I haven't had anything within the past 6-12 months around bed bugs, but if that is a pressing concern, I think we probably just need to tap into the new selective licensing that we've now got across Hare Hills. And obviously, if it's a LCC property, make sure that we're speaking to the housing teams. Any more questions? Okay, Councillor Khan and then Councillor Dyer.
Just briefly, I want to thank the sub group as well, especially Robbie for organising this meeting as well. Well, thank you, Robbie, for coordinating these meetings, and I want to thank Councillor Dye, Councillor Jordan, and Councillor Ali for their input into the environment subgroup. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. And I think what this has demonstrated is that actually these subgroups that are looking at the particular issues across the area are making a difference and are responding to concerns. I know, for example, in my own wards, we've had a lot of issues around dog fouling, and what's been really good, well, not good, but it's been helpful to understand that there've been shared concerns across other wards. So when we raised this, Councillor Dye flagged that it was a similar issue in Seacroft ward. So we are all coming together to try and tackle the issues that actually matter to residents. Councillor Dye and then Councillor Burden.
Yeah, it was just a quick one for me that I've just realised that I hadn't accepted the invitation to Mount St Mary's, but just to say that I will be looking forward to coming along on Monday.
Fabulous. I need to give my apologies for that, I'm afraid. Councillor Burden.
Yeah, it's just a comment to say that the last meeting we had, it was really great hearing from the new sort of fly tipping and enforcement team. I think there's going to be some really excellent work going forward, and I'm really excited to see what happens.
Fantastic. And obviously we've got 1,000 bins coming across 1,000 new bins coming across the city. So I would encourage everybody to identify locations and hotspots where you feel you need a bin in your ward. So if there's no further comments or questions on this, we'll move on to the I think it's the community safety with Councillor Arif.
Yes, thank you, Chair. So just some updates from me in terms of an update. Just to let members know that the existing darker nights priority as we shift into sort of summer months will now be updated to darker, lighter nights to reflect seasonal changes. With lighter nights, you get different challenges, particularly in Hare Hills. One of the things that we get as complaints is in relation to noise and children playing out till late, and I know that's particularly in back-to-back streets that's a concern. So I've spoken to the police about that, and that's something that they will certainly be looking at. In terms of burglaries, the crime prevention officer will visit the local mosque as well because we've had a spate of burglaries. I know Round here has as well, and certainly Gibson Hare Hills and in your neck of the woods as well. So we had officers who visit a local mosque to provide crime prevention equipment and information, and this comes on the back of burglaries in relation to gold targeting Asian households. there was a Eid event called Chandra at Junior Sports Hub, and I know colleagues were there and handed a lot of equipment out, and that went down really well with the local community. It is quite concerning because, you know, a lot of people save up a lot of money to invest in gold, and often it's passed down from generations to generations, and for them to lose that is really concerning for community. So that's good in terms of the work we're doing there. In terms of speeding, which was certainly something that the group identified was a constant issue, including e-bikes and bicycles. Fire services and West Yorkshire Police will be delivering e-bike safety sessions in local schools, including demonstrations of 2 e-bikes, a poster campaign encouraging reporting of illegal e-bike riders has also been developed and is being translated into multiple languages for community access. I just want to say thank you to the members that attend the group and for your input. I think you can't do everything, but in terms of some of the things what we are doing in terms of awareness building, I certainly know that the sessions at the local event we had a few weeks ago went down really well in terms of making sure you keep your house safe. The poster will be really helpful, and the fact that, as Councillor Khan said earlier, your neck of the woods, you speak 150 languages, so we're trying to utilise different languages to get this message across. So work continues, as I say, as we come into the summer months. Challenges will be slightly different, but we'll continue to work on the community safety group. And if any of the members who attend regularly, if you want to have any comments or questions, happy to take them.
Okay, thank you. I can see Councillor Jenkins.
Yeah, this isn't directly about the working group, but I'm dealing with a case at the moment that concerns the Beckland Centre. So the Beckland Centre, along with other mental health provision within the city, is about to have its CQC examination in the next month. So it is a bit concerning because this is a message from the MP's office, actually, about drugs being sold outside of the entrance to the Beckland Centre. And Dr. M commented that the people who bring the takeaways also bring in the drugs, and nothing can be done about this or to lock the premises at night. So I've got one of my constituents' sons is sectioned and has been allowed out into Hare Hills quite freely. But I mean, it just seems crazy that they haven't got any control over the situation. There's meant to be accompanied if they do go out, but I don't think they've got the staffing to do that. But why are there takeaways being taken into premises which should be providing food for the patients in the first place? So I think it's an issue of concern. So we've taken it up with the head of the Mental Health Trust. The police have been made aware. This has all happened in the last week or so, but there we are.
Okay, thank you for that. I suppose I suppose that probably is an ongoing concern, and obviously if people do have any additional information, it would be really helpful if they can share that with the police. And obviously people can report crimes anonymously via Crime Stoppers. Details should be online. Okay.
And can I just add, so I've also involved Health Watch in this whole process because they're quite involved in the submission to the trust. So I think if anybody wants to contact Hannah at the Health Trust, that would be really, Health Watch would be really useful.
Okay, thank you. Does anybody have any comments about the community safety report? No. Okay, I think again, just want to pass on my thanks, and I'm sure the thanks of all of the committee to our great police teams who are active across East Leeds and North East Leeds. I think it can be quite challenging quite often because I think we anticipate the police should be everywhere. Unfortunately, they can't be, but I can certainly vouch for the team that we've got locally. under Inspector Neves. Okay, so I need to give my apologies to Councillor Manaka actually because I skipped over you. I skipped over you. Do you want to tell us about children and young people?
That's okay. Thank you, Chair, and good evening, everyone. The report to children and young people. Firstly, just to say thank you so much to all the officers involved in making sure that the Youth Summit came together and it, as successful as it was. Especially Robbie, thank you so much for making sure that it went ahead with the tight schedules and bookings. Thank you. The Inner East Youth Summit was held on Friday, the 6th of February, 2026, and it was here in the Civic Hall. We had 13 schools confirmed, and they, in the Civic Hall, 150 plus attendees, and we, as the per usual, the young people and youth were very engaged in questioning. They had some reports that they wanted to share, and to kind of go through how it feels to be in our position right now, making decisions for whatever that they chose as something that they would like to support or sponsor, and just them going through the rigorous thinking and thoughts of what it takes to be involved in democracy and making decisions. Had lunch and really a great day everyone had. Robbie, is there anything else maybe just to add?
No, I think that pretty much covers it for the Youth Summit as well. I think obviously, as well as part of the discussions, we did discuss play as well and player provision at the last meeting and the feedback. So I visited two of the high schools so far, and the feedback's been overwhelmingly positive about the Youth Summit.
Thank you, Chair. So that is in a nutshell everything that went on the Youth Summit. And thank you to all colleagues that came on the day. Really appreciate you being here and being involved on the day. And thank you, Chair.
Okay, Councillor Asghar-Ali.
Just an addition, Chair, that Robbie, thank you. There were big boots to fill after Oliver, and you did us all proud, especially the children in the schools. So from bottom of my heart, thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Bowden.
It was a similar message. It was just a big thank you to the community committee team. It was a very it was a fantastic youth summit, and I thought what was different, but I thought was really interesting, is how the younger children and older children were split into two different activities coming into here. I thought that was really excellent. I was actually really great to be grilled by the older children actually on certain policies. So I thought it was excellent.
I think we need to give our apologies to the Lord Mayor, who had quite the political grilling. Councillor Dye.
Thank you. Well, my first point was going to be exactly the same. I mean, huge thanks, Robbie, for all the work, because it's not just on the day, it's what goes in behind the scenes and the visits you make to the schools, and also the fact that it gets tweaked every time we do it. So, since I've been involved in delivering Youth Summit for Inner East, it's got better and better because of the learning that is done in between each one. So, yeah, huge thanks, Robbie. And then the second thing is that on Friday, the 12th of June, there is going to be an exhibition called Get Creative for Climate Justice. And Leeds schools are all invited to produce some artwork. It's happened in previous years, but it's always taken place in Parliament. But we're bringing it to Leeds this year. And what we're wanting is young people to produce artwork that addresses climate justice. And then we will invite councillors and MPs to come along, and the young people will then explain their artwork and say what it means. So it's a kind of an early plea really that we haven't put it out publicly in terms of inviting people, but it would be absolutely brilliant if you could all come along at some point on the 12th of June and look at the artwork and talk to the young people. There will be an official invitation going out at some point, but you get first shouts. It's in the museum, Leeds City Museum. And the second thing is please encourage schools to get involved. I've got a flyer about it. I don't know whether that can get shared. If I can share it with you.
We can share that via social media.
Super, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Councillor Dye. Yeah, I mean, just obviously a lot of positive feedback about the youth summit, and I think the comments from Councillor Dye with regards to the active learning, listening and learning to improve each event every year. Yeah, I mean, the example Councillor Bowden raised with regards to splitting the older children and the younger children was a piece of learning that we picked up a couple of years ago, because it felt it didn't, you know, a younger child may have a different experience to somebody who is in year 10, for example. What I would also say in terms of the work of the subcommittee is that it has actually looked at other elements that impact on young people, and we are trying to have cross-cutting themes, looking at kind of how do young people feel within the community? Do they feel safe? One of the big issues that young people raise with us quite consistently is around environmental issues. So we've reached out to schools, and then there's a conversation around ensuring that young people can get the best possible start in life, and it is really important that we listen. Councillor Manaka, did you want to have the last word on this?
Chair, thank you. You've just actually touched on what I wanted to say in terms of schools and environment, that we just to update the committee that we have sent letters to schools, and we are working with the schools. They have, some have responded, some have not, but we are working with schools in terms of environmental issues and how we can get busy on that. Thank you, Chair.
Brilliant. I suppose one of the key messages that we're trying to convey to schools, and I suppose trying to influence, is encouraging young people to take pride in their communities, in where they live, in the areas surrounding their schools. Nobody wants to go to a school that is full of rubbish, that's got litter blowing around on the fields or outside. So by trying to instill that sense of pride and ownership, it feels it's important, because those lessons are then taken forwards as young people become adults. So finally, on the subject of adults and active lifestyles, Councillor Bowden.
Thank you, Chair. So the group has been meeting with local neighbourhood networks to look how better we can support residents. We agreed to progress work on healthy eating initiatives with clear focus on defining what healthy eating means for older residents. I think that bit of information was really important. This is about making sure our messages and support are practical and relevant, and not just like a one-size-fits-all. We also had discussions around active lifestyles, and so that was a really great update, and I thank you, Councillor Manaka, for jumping in for me at the start of the meeting, as I had some technical issues, but it was really great to hear from some of the neighbourhood networks, some like practical solutions, like there was a great crossover between sort of healthy eating and active lifestyle. So one of them was the fact that there was a neighbourhood network who had an allotment that then spent time tending to the allotment and then using that food to support the healthy eating. We also had discussions around active lifestyles, including opportunities to partner with local gyms. The aim here is to increase participation, not only in gyms, but also in existing community groups, so that residents have a range of options to stay in active ways that suit them. And I think that could be a future meetings, an interesting opportunity, not only if we can get older residents going to gyms, but how we can maybe get those gyms going to the older residents. This work reflects on our broader commitment to support healthier, more active communities, particularly for older residents.
Okay, thank you. Any comments or questions? No. Yeah, it is. That's absolutely correct, Jordan. I think we've what I would like to see going into next year is a continuation of this work. I think it's probably been, this has been the most challenging area because nothing has come before it, and we really have started from zero, which is daunting in a sense because you're not quite sure what you're doing, where you're starting from, but also it's a huge opportunity because what it means is we can actually think about, well, okay, what have we got, what are the assets that we have in the community? We've got the neighbourhood networks, we know that there's loads of great work that takes place, but we've also got all of these other facilities, for example, trying to connect neighbourhood networks with the gyms. I'm an active gym goer. Jordan, I believe you are an active gym goer. We've got other gym enjoyers as well as other people who go to use facilities. But for a lot of our older people, they're not necessarily looking at these facilities as somewhere that they feel they can go. So it's really important. So I would like to see that carried on into the next year. Councillor Jenkins.
Yeah, so there is an age-friendly network which does lots of work around heat in the city and, well, all sorts of things connected. So I also chair the age-friendly board. So a lot of people don't know that. Well, I don't know that, but I mean, who cares about that? But still, but there are lots of organisations and meetings that do happen. So I think we should share those more readily, and then you can make those contacts really. There's an age-friendly steering group that's doing lots of work around access in the station, and it's just been to the hospital to see how St James's looks after older people and in terms of accessibility and so on, and how you get off a bus in a cycle lane, which is a critical issue because you get knocked over by the cycle, particularly outside the art gallery. So, I mean, there's some really interesting issues that older people contribute to. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Jenkins. Councillor Bowden.
It's just to sort of respond to Councillor Jenkins. I think that's really useful. So what I'll do is I'll speak to the other chairs of that subgroup to. I think that would be really interesting that we all come together as sort of as the chairs of that subgroup, and then link up with yourself, Councillor Jenkins. So that'd be really useful.
Brilliant. I'll bring this item to a close. So the only thing remaining is the agenda item number 11, which is dates and times of meetings for the next municipal year. We've got first meeting will be on the 18th of June at 6 p.m. So I suspect it'll probably be in here. Then Thursday, 10th of September at 6 p.m. Thursday, 3rd December. And then going into 2027, it'll be Thursday, 11th of March. I have checked. I think we will be 1 or 2 days after Eid. So hopefully it won't disturb people's Ramadan fast. Councillor Khan.
Thank you, Chair. And I think this is our last meeting of this municipal year. And I just want to say, thank you for chairing the Inner East Community Committee. You've been really fair, Chair. You've been really pushy, Chair, as well, in a way, making sure the delivery groups were taking place. So, and you have attended all the delivery groups as well. So I just want to say thank you for being a fantastic Chair for Inner East Community Committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Second that.
Can we also
Thank you,
Robbie and Stuart?
I was going to come on to doing a big round of thanks. However, if anyone wants to say other nice things about me, you're more than welcome. So yes, so this brings to a close the this year's worth of Inner East Community Committees. I'd like to thank all of you as members for your contributions, for your participation. We do make decisions that make a difference on these committees, and it feels with the new addition of the subgroups, we're now playing a much more direct role in terms of decision making within our communities. That's not to be complacent. That's not to say, right, job done. There is still an awful lot more to do. But I feel like we've got a really good model here, which we can progress with in the future. And I would like to pass on my thanks to Robbie, who's had to deal with my incredible diva-ish tantrums and wild demands. Well, I haven't been that bad, have I? Nearly, but not quite. But yeah, he's been really done an incredible role over the past year. Thanks to Stuart, who has really brought a lot of this together behind the scenes, making community committees work not just here in the Inner East, but right across the city. And obviously to Tash for jotting all of this down, making meetings. I can just hear typing at the side of me all the time, and but yeah, it is a really really big thanks to all of you, to all of the officers. I suspect this is probably my last meeting in the chair, having acquired a new role over the course of the year. But yeah, I would like to close with a big thank you to everybody. Thank you very much and good evening.